forward by Princess. So following the judgment that was given, he hasn't said anything about it, interestingly. But hey, let's get into Lagos right now, where my guest is seated, entertainment lawyer Omotayo Alemuru Abiodun. Welcome to the show. I mean, for a lot of people, this is such a big deal. It's a win not just for Princess, like she said. It's a win not just for her child, but for every other person who has tried and failed to speak up about cases like this. But again, I do understand that when it comes to cases of rape, especially when it's happened over a period of time, it's one of the most difficult cases to prove. Just how difficult is it?
Thank you very much, Kachi. It's really difficult because there are certain things to prove when you want to, especially when you want to prove rape. You need to prove there was actually penetration. You know, the law provides that rape can only be done to a female, so there has to be active penetration. And in this case, one of the count charge was sexual penetration that happened 7 years ago, and then they had expert evidence, and there was no way a medical expert could have proven what happened 7 years ago. Regardless, the act is not statute barred in Lagos. You can't commit the offense of rape or sexual assault and then claim it's statute barred. It's not statute barred. You can actually still come any other time to lay claims against a rapist if you believe that someone raped, if you believe that someone was raped, or you believe someone raped you, of course.
Now, you see, that's the okay, yeah, that's the problem right there for me. I was just about to... Yeah, sorry to cut you short there. I thought you were done speaking. My apologies. I was going to say that I was going to bring up the conversation of the statute of limitations. I know in some parts of the world, of time, some would stipulate 50 years, some would stipulate 20, some would stipulate 30. You can no longer bring forth this case, but in Nigeria it isn't. However, Princess was very tactical in doing what she did, because the reality of it is, Omotayo, if it happened 7 years ago, how do you prove that? I mean, we saw her, she had to, you know, stage this entire situation where she had a CCTV recording, invited him over to her house, and then of course he was going to have his way with the victim, and then, you know, she burst right in and they had that entire incident on tape. But for a lot of people, she got criticized for doing that, with people saying that, you know, she was putting her child in harm's way, so she's as horrible as the person who was doing it. I mean, what are the odds? How do you prove something that happened so many years ago without putting yourself back in that same line of danger?
Okay, you know, there are several ways to prove yourself before a court of law. There's the testamentary, the oral evidence. So you could actually use an oral evidence, which is most times not strong enough, aside documentary or electronic evidence, as it is in this case from the CCTV footage. So I believe, although Princess, the comedian, probably went the wrong way, either way, she was able to prove that this is who the convict is. The convict is a sexual predator, if we want to call him that, because he has been convicted for that. But there was no way she could have come to showcase or bring her case before the court for what happened 7 years ago, regardless of the fact that the law makes provision that there's no statute, there's no limitation to bringing such cases. We have to look at it from the practical aspect, especially in Nigeria, where our forensic laws and we do not have so many things in place, unlike the advanced countries like the United States, where you can still bring up cases like this and there'll be proof for it. So yes, she may have tried in a tactical way, which there are so many sentimental opinions online, on Twitter, on social media generally, that she lured him. Regardless, the court did not find him guilty for the penetration of 7 years ago. But as there was proof, there was evidence for what he did. The CCTV footage showed very clearly what he did at that point. So I believe maybe the justice did not need to look at how she came about it, but evidence was there before the court. That's one. And secondly, he confessed, he admitted that he did some of these acts. And then law provides already that the confession of an accused person, or the confession of a person alleged of something, of an offense, of course, since it was given voluntarily, it was a voluntary confession, that there's no need to even go further, requiring more evidence to prove that. He already admitted it by himself. There's quite a number of judicial precedents to that.
Omotai, before I let you go, in Nigeria, in cases like this, because I believe that this is like Nigeria's Me Too movement in the spotlight. I mean, we haven't seen this before. This is a big deal for a celebrity on Baba Ijesha's level to be sentenced to 16 years in prison. Now, we know that in the United States of America, a person like Baba Ijesha will have to register as a sexual predator. You know, he will have to register as an offender. In Nigeria, is that required as well? So basically, this is something he registers as whenever he wants to get a job, whenever he has to apply for any form, even including visas.
To be on record.
It's on record. So is the same thing applicable here in Nigeria? Are, you know, guilty parties required to register? Yes,
we in the Child Rights Act, yes, some parts of Nigeria that have domesticated this act allows for that. In Ekiti State, if I'm not mistaken, and then Lagos State, some southern states already have this in place, such that once someone is being convicted of the offense of any sexual offense whatsoever, there's a list, there's a record that's made public, that's displayed to the public, so everyone knows that this person is a sexual offender and it's put on record. So I believe that some of the northern states and states that have not yet adopted this system should actually look into it. It's really very important. This is a serious case. You know, it goes beyond just breaking the law of the state. You have broken the mind of whoever the victim is. Some of these victims do not ever recover from acts like this eventually. So justice in any form, aside deterrence justice, like taking them to sentencing them to jail, deterrence forms like that, you need to also put up a notice so that in future, like now he was given 16 years to run concurrently. It's not even going to be up to 16 years when it's a concurrent judgment. It's a concurrent sentence, I beg your pardon. So imagine when he comes out after 5 years, which I believe that's the maximum period he's going to spend in jail. It comes out, there should be a way to put every other person there on notice, because we are not sure if he was able to be rehabilitated in prison, if he was able to change his mindset about this offense, or if he's coming out to even do worse things. So we have to put the public on notice. So the important thing I need us to take home is the fact that other states that have not adopted this system should actually do that. So it should be a federal thing. It should go around Nigeria. Once someone is a sexual predator and has been convicted as such, there should be a list. There should be a sex offenders list to publicize or announce these acts. Thank you.
I couldn't agree with you more, Omotai. I think that list is essential so people are aware. And I think that would even serve as a stronger deterrent, to be very honest, because like you said, he will come out of prison at some point in time. He still has a lot of support, a lot of backbone. So he could walk into a space and people will not even know. But the shame of knowing that you were on a list, I strongly believe is going to put people in check. Omotai, I've got to let you go right now. Thank you so much for joining me to speak on this very, very essential topic. Now, before we take before we take a quick break, I've got to tell you what happened internationally this week. The Emmys is a big deal, the biggest show that awards